in the name of Allah. Good morning, grade 4. How are you? Miss you much and can't wait to see you, my love. Today, we will complete in our learner's book, Unit 7, Australia, Lesson 5, Why Emus Can't Fly, page 104 and 105. Let's start. We have two main aims for today. Number 1, to read for just. For just means to read quickly to answer a simple question. And for specific information means in this step we will read carefully to answer more complicated questions. About emus. Emus are animals found in Australia. And number 2, to listen to this traditional story. It is a traditional story in Australia. Emus is a traditional story in Australia.
What have we got here? Come and have a look at this. We've found an emu nest, and there's a whole lot of things here that can tell us a whole lot about this amazing Australian bird. If you look here, here's a large piece of a freshly hatched egg. Look at that colour. It's like a bluish avocado. Very large eggs. Amazing coloration. And here we've got a whole bunch of emu feathers. And emu feathers are a particularly strange feather. They come in pairs. This isn't two feathers, that's one feather. All feathers have two halves. Normally they've got a big half and a small half, the shaft and the after shaft. Emus are very special. Both halves are the same size. See big ones and small ones from the neck here. Emu feathers. Amazing things. I've just heard some emus over here, so I'm going to go over here and try out a little trick to see if we can get them a bit closer. Now, as you can see, these birds are really curious. So when they see me on the back, arms and legs waving in the air, they just can't help themselves. They've got to come over and see what's happening. The emu is found only in Australia. It's our largest native bird. And it's actually the third largest bird in the world.
As we watch it in our video now, we can say, what are emus? Emus are animals or large flightless, fast-running Australian bird resembling the ostrich with shaggy grey or brown plumage, very blue skin on the head and neck, and 3-toed feet. Let's start our page 104 with this question. Answer it for yourself, just as a start. What traditional stories do you know from your country or culture? Which one is your favorite? Why? Does your favorite story have a special message or advice? What is it? Answer this for yourself. If you like to send me the answer, it's optional for you. Number 2, read and listen. Read and listen to the story of Emu. Number 1, these are the questions we should answer after our reading. Read the first part of the story. Who are the two main characters? This is reading for just only to know who are the two main characters. And question number 2, read each part of the story and answer the questions at the end of each section. We will study today section 1, and next time we will study second section.
Flying is something that any bird can do. It's common and ordinary. It's only men and strong birds like you and me who can get about by walking. It's a sign that you are a special bird. Emu thought about it and replied, Perhaps you're right. I will have to talk about it with my wife this evening. And off Emu went, striding across the plain to test Brush Turkey's words. His long legs carried him swiftly home to his wife. The next day, the two birds met again. I have thought about it and decided that you were right, Emu said. My wife and I took off our wings last night. We were sad to lose them, but my leg muscles are growing stronger already. I'll race you to that bush. Brush Turkey laughed and laughed. I can't believe that it was so easy to trick you with that tail, Emu. Your brains must be as small as a baby bird's. But if you want to, I'll race you. Emu sprinted across the sun-baked ground. Brush Turkey waited until Emu had nearly reached the bush. Then he flapped noisily through the air, landing well ahead of Emu. Ha ha! Emu, he cried. The other animals will never respect a bird who cannot fly. Emu was angry. He rushed at Brush Turkey, striking out at him with his powerful legs. But Brush Turkey just flew away, laughing. Emu sadly walked home to tell his wife how he had been tricked. A whole year went by.
As you see on page 105, we have 7 questions. What are they? Number 1. Why do you think Brush Turkey wanted to hurt Emu? 2. Why is walking better than flying, according to Brush Turkey? 3. How did Emu get home after listening to Brush Turkey? 4. What did Emu and his wife do after listening to Brush Turkey? 5. Who won the race? 6. What was Emu's reaction? 7. How did Brush Turkey respond? Your task for today. Your task for today is to read and listen to the audio and answer the questions from 1 to 7 and send me your answers. Please answer them into your notebook if the space is not enough here, and I think it will not be enough to write carefully. Okay, I'm waiting for your answers. Happy for joining you for today. Please always join me. Share your answers with us. Thanks for today and see you next time. Bye, my lovely students and best students.
Why Emus Can't Fly. A traditional story from the Aboriginal people. Dinawan the emu was big and strong, with huge wings that carried him over great distances. His wife had lots of children each year, and he was well respected and feared. Like all powerful ones, he also had some enemies, especially Goomblegubbon the brush turkey. He was jealous of Emu's power of flight and the way he could run swiftly over the vast plains without tiring. So he made a plan to hurt Emu, and he told no one about it except for his wife. He waited until he knew that Emu was going out on the plain to feed, and he made sure that he got there before him. He held his wings close by his body, ruffled up his feathers, and sat on the ground where the grass was rich and long. When Emu had eaten a lot of grass and was in a good mood, Brush Turkey spoke to him. "Hello, I want to tell you something that I think you should know. The other animals are wondering why a big, strong bird like you chooses to fly everywhere instead of walking." Emu looked at him with great surprise. How else could he get anywhere, he wondered. Brush Turkey continued. "No one else would dare to tell you these things, Emu, but